there. Maybe.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I pushed to talk to misbehave. Yeah, I'm Raffles. I've been here 4 or 5 years, I think. I'm sort of the grumpy old man of the GM team, but I try to be happy.
I guess that's all of us.
Awesome. Somebody said in chat, can we shoot out questions? Yeah, just shoot out questions. We'll start answering them, or we can go down the list. We have a small itinerary, and also we can go through suggestions and stuff like that. Okay, so first thing that we have to do is to discuss some of the events that we're working on and going to host. So, Ryako, do you want to talk?
Yes, I will gladly talk about the Shadow of Encourage event that's going on. That has been players that have been participating for last month, 2 months actually. Believe it or not, it's getting pretty close to the end. I think yesterday we just did the rescue of Lord Itharius, who is a consort to the Green Dragonflight, and assisting the Cenarian Circle with trying to track down these cultists so we can put an end to it. The next phase will be actually kicking off after this whole Q&A session that we're doing, and it's going to be kind of an interesting. We're going to go back a little bit to the old school stuff. Could you turn down Reiko a bit? She is really loud. Plus, give me 1 second. Is that better? Oh no, it's like probably maybe a 15-second delay there. Awesome. Great.
Cool.
So where was I at? Train of thought gone out the window. Oh yeah, we're gonna go back to the old school a little bit on some of the encounters here. So it's going to be a little bit interesting. We're going to try to make it challenging, yet it's going to be something you all have most likely already done. So we're going to try to throw in a couple of extra little tidbits in there, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And the end, I am expecting a lot of people to die. I'm not going to lie. I'm expecting bodies to pile on the final boss. It's going to be great. It's going to be a massacre, and it's going to be entertainment for all. Oh, and then if you win, those of you that have the privilege to get the title will be awarded the Scarab Lord title, and we'll be handing out a couple of other awards for those that participated, but were not able to achieve the title and whatnot. That's what I got. Anybody else got anything else coming up that one? I'm sorry, everyone. My microphone is bad. I'm sorry.
Okay, Spacey's asking about server population suggestions. So let's dive into a couple of those. Okay, one of the things that we were going to discuss is the website. Okay, so breaking down kind of how things happen is we have the game masters, obviously, and the developers, but above us are the people that own the server. And in order to implement anything, such as the website, they need to have a hand in that. They need to implement that themselves. It's not something that we can do ourselves. So, despite us constantly pushing for stuff, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to come out immediately because we're waiting on other people that may have a completely different schedule because uh, they're not necessarily 100% a part of the server despite owning it or anything else. So as far as website goes, all I can really say is we're not 100% sure,
It
and
just needs to be implemented.
yeah, Varkin is right. The developer has finished the site. It's done. It just needs to be implemented. However, we don't know when it's going to be implemented because it's unfortunately not up to us, despite however much we push for it. Yeah, server owners are mainly AFK. We've largely been given the server to salvage it as best as we can and take care of it as best as we can. And we poke them when we really need something, which we do very frequently, and we don't always get what we want.
They have shot down many of favorite ideas. Just out of curiosity, can we like right click on their names and then tag for AFK and like we can in Battlegrounds to like kick them out? That work?
I can do that. There's some things that we've considered implementing regarding the vote system. Yeah, specifically rewards that are actually implemented in the new website and would go up whenever it goes up, and we're not sure when it's going to go up. And it's difficult because those changes are hard to implement with the current website, which is why we made a new one. So vote rewards, same thing. We don't know. We're waiting on it. Owner transfership. Currently, it's relatively impossible. There's only 2 possible people that can run the server, and both of them don't really want it. To tackle one of the things that was said in the suggestion, let me pull it up really quick. Um,
I believe to answer Master Cry, the armory is going to be improved on the new website, right?
yeah, it would have been. Yeah. Again, we'll see. We're just crossing our fingers. I can't really. Oh, here. Oh, I can't. I don't know how to say his name, but 7xg blah blah blah, a bunch of numbers. Posted on the forum. He mentioned just about the server income, which I'll just tackle that really quickly. Server is actually losing income. The owners of the server are hosting Excalibur out of good faith because they know that we love it, and they're losing income because they have to pay for a lot of things more than the server is making. Stuff like DDoS protection and hosting the server and all that stuff costs a lot of money, and they're actually losing money. So it's again very hard to pay for developers to make things or whatever else when you're literally negative money. Somebody mentioned about experience rate being high.
I think that was going in with something along the lines of a new progression server being tied those in together. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I think that's something that is very split in the middle. A lot of people think that the Burning Crusade is a very hard expansion and it should be hard, and that's the point. And a lot of other people think that the end game is really the main game, so we should just skip it. I'm not really sure. That's a tough one because we're just not sure. It's split in the middle.
Yeah, there's no real right or wrong, is there?
We
Well,
did consider opening new realm. Both the Burning Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King is just not plausible at the moment.
It's hard because of many reasons, but on top of it, it would mean hiring another developer, which again is a tough money issue. It would also split the GM team because you'd need people on both servers to host it, which is again rough because there's not a ton of us, and we aren't getting a lot of applications either because our population is kind of low. So it's tough. I would say though, I don't think that a new realm or a new server isn't off the like table. Uh, Potentially in the future if Excalibur does better, but we're just not sure. Somebody just asked about the website again. So just to reiterate, it's done. It's just it can't be implemented, or we're waiting on the owners to implement it, and they have their own schedule. And yeah, it's done. We're just waiting, and we don't know. It's been done since January, probably. It's been done a long time. Yeah, I think the server's been losing money for
Quite some
probably
time.
a year or something like that. Although, to be honest, as GMs, we don't have access to any of the finances. That's not our stuff at all. So that's up there. We don't handle.
Somebody asked how much time per week should a GM put into GMing if one would apply. Well, we go by the rule of thumb about 8 hours a week, at least. That's the minimum.
I definitely agree with advertising more. We don't want to catch the eye of Blizzard, which we actually have in the past multiple times. So it's a tough one. But yes, we want to advertise more. We got somebody made a forum topic saying that they wanted to contact a developer, and I actually responded to him, and we discussed a little bit. And he mentioned he wanted to advertise for us by making some memes, and then he kind of fell off the grid. So I don't.
probably the best way right now for promoting the server is pretty much going to be word of mouth, in all honesty, is making other people aware that we're out there. Um, I know Reddit has been not the greatest of friends to us recently. Um, but yeah, it's a little tough trying to get noticed by a small community that just loves the Burning Crusade.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Reddit seems to be a huge place that people find private servers on, like you said. And yeah, our reputation on there isn't the greatest. Um, but I think it's mostly our at least older-ish rep of when we used to sell a lot of T6 gear and Warglaives and stuff like that, which we don't do anymore. So yeah.
We haven't been doing that for some time.
Yeah, 4 years, I think, or something like that.
4 or 5.
To tackle Excalibur, we again, it's not. I don't know because I haven't personally received it. It's the owners that receive it. But I think it's been decently direct, but there's nothing like a lawsuit yet or anything like that. And we haven't gotten attention in a while because we're not a huge threat right now, but you never know, and you don't want to catch wind of them, of course. New website? No. Items taken off the store. I think it's the same store. The only if we have discussed in the future another realm or another server, like we said, in that case, the store would probably be little to none. We would ideally want it to be as not pay to win as possible. But that's, yeah. Sold on the store. We discuss it all together. The GMs have weekly meetings together just to discuss what we see on the forums, like on the suggestions all the time, or new events to host, or any ideas or anything like that. We do it weekly. So again, if somebody has a suggestion for something to be added or something to be taken off, we always discuss it and change it if necessary.
What do you mean by PvP stuff? Yeah, we can make people choose either side or class or whatever.
Just more goats. That's all you need. You don't need anything else. Just goats. We can go back to doing more of the PvP events. I know we hadn't done some in a while. I think there's a talk amongst us GMs that we might be doing another Hala event eventually. The last time we did the Altrek Valley event, that one kind of got a little wonky and weird with getting people in the battleground. But I think it was still a lot of fun with everybody there. So we might plan something in the future. Not for sure. Hashtag maybe.
Alterac Valley is basically hard to set up. We can't just port players in there. That's the main issue.
And we had issues with the queue when we tried to do the testing.
Yeah. We had a developer with us. We tried everything to get all the raid groups in there, but it wasn't possible. So, yeah.
I will say that we've been trying to implement what we can. So there's a bunch of things that we worked on, like guild cross faction. Actually, for some reason, we just didn't even know it was possible. So until somebody suggested it, and we had a developer take a look, it is very easy, and we implemented it. And PvP rewards was a pretty big change that I think was our hope to make Battlegrounds more active. So we're definitely implementing what we can or what we think will be positive and stuff like that.
Critman is not a GM.
Yeah, I was
can
about
tell
to,
you that.
I was about to say the whole crit man thing.
Well, he basically isn't breaking any rules, so we let it slide.
The only thing we can say to people is ignore him. If you know he's in the area, go somewhere else. He's only doing it trying to get under your all's fingers and nails and just trying to get a response and reaction from everybody. And like Veracina said, he hasn't broken any rules yet. And he's literally following what we have down to the T. So just if you know he's on, just avoid STV because you all know he's going to be in Booty Bay, hunting that booty.
Server not PvP. Yeah, well, so we've had the new forum since November, I think, something like that. But on the previous forum, we had a poll where people could vote if they wanted it PvP or PvE, and actually it won PvP by a lot. So we've kept it PvP.
We also tried to enable a normal realm where you can choose to opt out of PvP, and that didn't go didn't go as well as we thought it would.
You can report bugs on the forums.
But I think they're wondering if there's any like rewards for them because we don't reward for bug reports.
We do sometimes, actually, depending on how serious the bug is. If it's really game breaking and a really big deal, if you report it, there's possibility of getting credits.
I stand corrected.
Seems like we have a Critman in chat.
We do. Where?
Olana is not a GM.
Yeah, I know that. Alana is. So
Okay, sorry, trying to keep up with questions. The whole form switch versus just updating, it wasn't a result of AFK admins. Actually, the admins did the switch for a couple reasons. Actually, it was a really big security upgrade, which was pretty important for us. But it was also just a much better forum than the previous one and stuff like that. And we implemented our own skin and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it was them that did it.
We actually do have a PvP GM.
they're just not on
Yeah,
purpose,
GM
are they?
Saya. Yeah, GM
A
Saya
bit less
primarily
active
looks at.
now, but she will come back.
Yeah, especially towards the end of the seasons. The owner of the server is Mr. Aladdin.
He did write on the forums a couple of times.
Classic WoW. We'll see. I mean, there's we're guessing the exact same as you. Um, but I kind of assumed that maybe the pop will go down a little bit, but I think people will come back like soon after. I don't think that I don't know. There's always the beginning of a game once it comes out that it's really popular, and then after a month it slowly dies down.
I have a feeling that we're going to get a good boost of people coming back to PVC when they realize how crappy vanilla actually is, and that they take
Yeah, I
like
don't think
6 months to reach level 60.
I don't think Classic is going to work at all. Classic only has nostalgia. The actual game itself, the play of the game was garbage.
Mhm.
It was Burning Crusade, which is why it seems to be more popular. That WoW became really what it. But of course, that's personal opinion.
Why do you think personally server population dropped? I I don't know. It's a very old game. It's 13 years old or so, which is definitely one thing. Another thing is also people move on over time, and there needs to be a steady flow of new people coming. And like we said, there's definitely still people coming in from voting sites, but a lot of that has moved over to Reddit. Reddit is a really popular place to find private servers, and we don't have the best reputation on Reddit. We're working on it. It helps if other people comment and stuff as well.
I do know Reddit has a pretty high reputation requirement to actually make posts. So that's like
Yeah.
another issue with some of the staff members not really using Reddit that much. So our reputation levels are way too low to actually make any posts there. So it's a little irritating.
My experience there is whenever you talk about Excalibur, you get downvoted like immediately.
Yeah, it's tough. Also, somebody asked if the population could go up to 5,000, like if the server could handle it.
Yeah.
Yes, question mark, probably.
Yes.
We have, I think the limit is set to 5,000,
Five.
although I could be wrong,
5,000.
but I believe so. Yeah, and it's, we've gotten pretty close to that before, and sometimes there's some issues, but I think for the most part, we'd be good.
Uh, Testing is one thing. We test things all the time, but whenever you go live with an update, something else breaks, and you never know what it will break.
Good old patch system that Blizzard created.
Yeah, it's impossible to make a active progression server when we're all maxed out and we don't want to go past TBC. So Reddit event, that's a pretty good idea. We can discuss that sometime.
Uh, I'm a little confused on what a Reddit event would be. So yeah.
You could make it so that it's a forum event and you can post the username that you posted on Reddit and link to the post that you posted on and get rewards for it or something like that.
Hey B, you're quiet. Someone needs help. Go, go, go.
Auction Master, I think it's pronounced. Yeah, Blizzard could shut down anyone, but we're not quite worried about it as yet. So,
Frankly, that's something that doesn't affect GMs that much and affects the owners much more. If they got like shut down by Blizzard, that would be an actual legal serious issue that they would have to deal with, and we're lucky that we don't have to deal with that. Yeah, voting up on Reddit. We should definitely discuss that. I think a Reddit event would be a great idea, actually. I'm an NAGM. We have a couple of.
It requires 10 karma, I think. So
So
we might be able to post there.
Yeah, I think I have to double check. I think it's like you need plus 10 karma or something.
Yeah. 40-man raid on Area 51.
yeah, that one's going to be entertaining. Like quiet all of a sudden. I don't know which question to answer.
I'm just reading up on the questions. Sorry. Well, depends how we can advertise. That's the main thing. The main means of server advertising are done through social media nowadays. So we are on Facebook and I think Instagram, and some sites like that. But yeah, we would need a really good plan for it.
It's server advertisement funds. I don't know. I mean, we could talk to them about that. Server reset and wipe is something that we're not interested in doing and not planning to do, just because I think Excalibur has a very, very long history of a lot of players and people, and our goal isn't a last-ditch effort to wipe everybody's characters. I don't think that's the plan.
Yeah. If we are going with a fresh realm, it would be a new realm.
Yeah, a new realm alongside this one.
Yeah.
Gonna share that one suggestion that was put out that we all liked so much. Question mark there.
New added items for vote coins. I tackled that a little bit ago, but we have a couple new things that would be implemented alongside the new website, such as the vote coins, also a better armory. But there are a couple new vote options. Stuff like a lottery was going to be implemented or already was. But again, the website, we just don't know when it's going up because it's not up to us and we're just waiting.
But it's all made. It looks fantastic and it's all made. But yeah, it's just not going up yet.
Yeah, it would be some kind of a raffle, Stacy. Wow, don't shave your eyebrows.
The owners definitely know that the players want a new website. I can't express how much
We want
we want a new website. Yeah, it's been okay. So the new website that we have currently, it's done, has been ready since January for implementation. Before that, we actually had another website that was also ready to go above this one for like 4 years or something. It's just not up to us. We're just like people that help you guys. We don't really have the means to just put it up. Like if I could do it, I would do it, but I can't. It's the owner that has to do it, and they are very busy or whatever else. I'm not sure.
Is it possible?
I think that we're probably going to hear about it soon, because yeah, there's been a lot of pushback recently, so we'll see. But we're trying to update you guys as best as we.
A bug tracker is transparent. You can see which ones are being worked on, which ones are being implemented. I think bug tracker is pretty transparent.
Yeah, it shows bugs that are rejected. It shows what's scheduled for implementation. It shows the status if it's confirmed or unconfirmed. I mean, there's a lot of information on there on the bugs. And the severity of the bug would tell you, what is a priority to what it.
You can always bump the bug if it's over 2 years, I think.
I think that's also a question more for the developers. We really don't have a lot to do with that. I assume that a lot of the like what they choose to work on first is how hard it is to implement, if it affects other things in the script, and all that kinds of stuff. But I don't know because I'm not a developer.
Longer double rates. It's something we can discuss, yeah. It's not set in stone, it has to be over a weekend or something.
Burning Crusade was hard. It was meant to be hard. The game got easier as it went along, but we try to keep it as much to what it should be as we can.
Also, as far as arena incentive, I think we definitely take any suggestions. We previously had an arena season that ended with cash prizes, and that arena season didn't even do that great. Like, not a ton of people were active, even with that as a prize. So, not sure.
All right, well, let me try. I'm very sorry for being silent so far. It's just a little bit difficult for me because I guess I have the feeling that when I say something about a server, then I have to try to represent the entire server, and then I realize no, I don't. We have a Q&A for the GMs to give out personal opinions, so I guess I will try to simply state what I feel and think about the whole thing. Could somebody drop me a topic though, so that I can just go one by one? Like, we had a few questions already. Definitely want to address probably most of the stuff that has been mentioned. But it would be cool if somebody gives me like a pointer to start up with.
They love you.
What?
I understood him. Don't worry about it. I think something I want to address that was said earlier is that you wanted to test the updates before they hit the live server because you feel like there has been more bugs recently. And I have to disagree simply because what I still used to do, I don't really have a lot of time anymore to do it regularly. When a new revision hits, I'm online, I check the rates, I talk with people, ask them if anything seems out of the ordinary. And I would have to say that it hasn't gotten less or more problematic after the recent revision. There's always some lashback, and that is because I think a lot of people have that feeling that we fix script one by one, and that's not what the developers do. The developers look at scripts for single things, but they also have like scripter tools in place that affect everything. And sometimes you don't know if like a tool that you recently adjusted to work better in some area all of a sudden has an effect on other area. For those who are regularly rating like Sunwell, I think a lot of you have noticed that after some revisions we have problems with Falmouth. I think Falmouth really likes to break, really delicate encounter. And that's not because we look at the Falmouth script and think, gonna screw that one up. But something that has an effect on that script was changed because it had to be a change and improved, and you simply didn't know beforehand that this was going to happen. And in regards to having a test server, we had test servers in the past that simply weren't visited by players, and there's no point to have a test server running when nobody's actually taking.
Actually, we do still have a test server, but it's not accessible to public.
guess we do that is shared by the developers, but most of the stuff that developers are testing and improving, they do so on the local machine, and you just cannot say before updating the live server what effect A will have. You would have to, I don't know, be able to look into the future for that. Okay, so that's just because, like, I really wanted to address that the developers are not doing more mistakes recently. I think it has been really consistent. Sometimes something breaks and you don't know how to fix it, and then you have scripts that have a tool in place that is kind of outdated and really needs some work, but well, it would require so much time and effort that you don't know if it is really a priority above other things. What comes to mind is that script in, I think it's Red Stove and Crawl, I think, that spider boss, where you have to use the gong and summon like spider waves and then the boss, and or probably a little bit more popular, the eel item that you can eat and then you release like thunder shocks around you, which has quite a bit of use around it, which is why it was this. It's not that it's unfixable, but is it more important to fix that above other issues? So yeah, I think the whole rant was about being a little bit protective of the developers, because when it comes to fixing stuff and implementing new things, I'm really fond of our developers and what they have done for the game and for the stuff in regards to tools that the staff use that most players don't know about, things that we have in the background with the website that we use to investigate things. Like, that's something that regular players don't see. And there has been a lot of nice additions there, nice features, and yeah, just really happy to have those developer guys around. Wrath of the Hawk King is not something that is actually going to happen. It's definitely a joke, but I'm happy to hear that you would really love to see that expansion come.
It was a good joke, though.
It was very good because everyone fell for it. Just
I have to
proves
say,
GMs have a sense of humor as well.
yeah. I mean, of course, we love Excalibur a lot. We wouldn't be here if not. I mean, I definitely think that we're the best scripted TBC server and all kinds of things. Yeah. As far as a population increasement plan, frankly, you guys are helping us a lot, especially right now. I definitely think that the Reddit idea is gold. We will definitely discuss that. I think that's a really good idea. I also think that potentially a pot for advertisement would also be a pretty good idea, but we'd have to discuss that as well.
One of the questions earlier we got was why we personally think that the population has decreased. And I think I don't really want to talk about other servers because I don't feel like, shit talking or promoting another private server project, mostly because even sometimes I guess they think there's some kind of yeah, well, it is a competition in regards to quality, but we're not really rivals. Looking at TBC servers that are out for a little bit longer now, like, let's say, Warmane has made some decisions that, for example, we have taken back in the past. Like, I'm pretty sure that Warmane has quite an expanded store now, which is something that we kind of want to be the opposite of, that taking more and more items out of the store. We have gotten quite a bit complaints about things we've made unavailable for purchase, and we're still getting tons of support tickets asking when the glaives are coming back and how much you have to pay under the table. Not coming back, sorry.
Yes, the Persian prince asking.
Oh yeah.
or how much to pay for an unban. Well, services that we simply don't really offer.
We know Warmane is taking their numbers, but yeah.
Yeah, well, like I said, I didn't want to shit talk. So this is not even if their population is real or not. That's not the issue. Why is our population decreasing? I don't think it's because our quality has dropped. I think in regards to scripting and even scripting in PvP, even if I have at least 5 people in that channel that are going to disagree with me, in regards to scripting PvE and PvP, we have only gotten better. We have not gotten worse. We have removed features that were non-Bliss-like that some I disagree with, like, for example, removing the Alterac, badges, vendor, which was, I guess, a huge hit for some people, which I can understand because if you have a low population, then you obviously have a low amount of people inside Alterac, so I get it. Or removing like badges from classic vanilla raids, which we have put back, not in the same way as before, but you notice that when you take something back that people, I guess, really liked, and even if you give it back at some point, it's not gonna feel the same. So yeah, now that I have strayed quite away from what I wanted to say is the server's getting older and the progression is done. Even if you look at Warmane and what I guess people say is a fake population, I don't know, I don't care, because I'm not playing on... Since Warmane's progression has finished, they have also dropped in population. And the servers that are currently having a high population are those in progression. Not all of them. We had a few recent servers that came out and had a terrible quality in regards to scripting and have plummeted to, like, I don't know, 50 to 0. But those with a decent quality that are still progressing, those are doing fine. So personally, to answer the question, would I support a hard reset of this Excalibur server? Then the answer is, would I like to see a second server, be it either RAV or be it a second TBC server with a little bit of different rule set that does not exclude like the core server that we currently have with Excalibur. Like, we had discussions about that, and I'm happy to give some feedback about what was discussed and what we have been worrying about when it comes to releasing a second TBC server. I'm definitely happy to go into that a little bit. But I think it is normal that our population has dropped over time, especially the more newer TBC servers. And I'm actually surprised how long Excalibur has had a really high population, because I do not think, regardless of expansion, that there's any other private server out there that has been able to keep their population at a decent number as long as we have, which I guess is a pat on the back, but I'm happy to be proven wrong for that statement.
Also, GM Vitiate also just wanted to reinforce that the GMs are also volunteers. So all the time that we put into answering questions and stuff like that is in our free time. And yeah.
We do this for the love of it rather than the reward of it. We all work, we all study, or have other things we do.
I do try to kill as many people as possible in events. That's my go-to.
Uh-huh.
What? Don't judge me.
Creature of the week. Oh my god. There was a place that we would have been able to update that, and I think it's gone now. I don't even think that we have access to update that anymore. Although I'm not sure. I've never tried. Um, but we're crossing our fingers for the new website to come.
Right. What other topic do we have that we could address? Even if we already had a topic, I think I've been too silent for too long, and now I feel like talking.
Yeah, I'm just reading through the suggestions on the forum right now.
I guess I can build up on what Eric just said about us being volunteers. None of us is paid. It's all free time. And it's kind of funny because a lot of times when I do something in-game or say something, I get reactions like, hey, I thought you quit or something, haven't seen you. Which is interesting because there's probably not a single day where I'm not doing anything on Excalibur, be it tickets or banning people. So it's I guess you want us to be more open about, which is also funny because I got a lot of complaints about not responding in the GM help channel while looking into Arena to ban people that are obviously win trading. So I can't do both. I can be sneaky and ban people, or I can be open about being around. I'm very sorry I can't do both, but I it's not possible.
Just that I know some of you are getting tired of hearing my terrible microphone, but just to touch base with Manon is saying, at times we do see people asking for assistance in the GM help channel, but we're trying to clean up the PvP side in arenas, and we need to be quiet and covert on that, so we can't make ourselves presently aware or know that we are in GM help. We see you guys messaging, and we want to help you out as soon as we can, but sometimes we need to just go into the arenas and just try to get these things fixed so we can get rid of these cheaters.
Okay, I'm reading through the suggestions, and there's a couple things here to tackle that we haven't talked about yet. I totally just lost my train of thought. Sorry, 1 second.
Yeah, that's the same issue I had earlier because we had so many questions about different topics coming up, and it's kind of difficult to figure out where you are currently on. While Narok is sorting out her responses, maybe we can stick with just one topic and talk about arena and win trading and cheating, and maybe you guys have questions about that and we address. Because obviously the end of the current arena season is coming up soon, so yeah, people are gonna get.
We love you too, guys.
I wouldn't
Okay,
say.
I remember.
Yeah, you go ahead.
What I was gonna say is, we had a suggestion saying that a great way to get more players back is to send out a mass email to all of the old emails that we have in our system. So there's a couple of issues with that, and basically we could do that, but all of the emails that are inactive or they got shut down or the email provider is gone would put Excalibur on the spam list for like everybody else. And that would be the exact opposite of what we'd want to do, especially for new people coming, creating new accounts or stuff like that. And if we sorted through everything to try and figure out what's inactive or anything like that, that would have to be the owners that would do that. And it would take, I believe, countless hours. So I don't think that that's just really an option right now. Yeah, there's just no way around it. Recruit a friend is also a thing that we got suggested. Um, this is something that I think we would all really like to implement, but it's so tough because there's a lot of reasons that it could go wrong. Like, for example, how could we prevent people from just making another account and recruiting yourself and gaining things? And it's like, okay, well, we can restrict it by IP somehow. Okay, well, resetting your IP is really easy. I don't know. It's just a lot of things like that that's just really tough on how to make it plausible so people would actually use it rather than just abuse it.
Vote coins for respec. No, not really.
That would actually be hard to implement, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Because you're
I
crossing
think the
over from the
IP.
website into the actual game rather than just sort of mailing things. I think that would be very tricky to.
The level thing for IP for recruited friends, I don't think there's any way that we could, like any system that could check that. We could potentially do it manually, but that would mean, a lot of tickets every day sorting through that. Potentially, it's tough with not a ton of GMs.
Even with a ton of gems, I think it would be tough.
In-game command after hitting 30 would make sense, but how would it know that
It's not
you
your
use the
own.
recruiter friend feature?
Yeah.
It's just tough. I'm not sure. We've discussed it a couple times with the developer Azalin, and I'm not sure we figured out a way to make it work. That's true, Crazy Damn. That's possible, potentially.
I guess the bottom line is that we don't have any issues with considering a system that's recruiter friend like, but it should have some things in place that cannot be. And that's the main issue. If you implement anything that, well, you don't really need to recruit a friend, right? If you just want to benefit and you create a few new accounts that are free to create and you benefit. So I guess what has to be figured out is a system that has a really, really small amount of abuse and mostly benefits the person that has been recruited.
Good evening.
And to answer a question that was asked earlier about vote coins for respec or something, personally disagree. There is no need for a dual spec option. There's no need to implement something that lets you respec for free. There's more than enough gold in the game that has to be used up, and implementing stuff that means that you don't have to spend any gold does not serve a positive purpose, in my opinion.
Cross-faction BGs, it's a lot of work, actually, quite positive. I think Aslan quoted to us that, yeah, I think it would be a lot.
Transmog is, I think, client limited. Unless you want to wear gear from whatever you like.
I think that some of these are definitely great ideas. The recruit a friend, I think, needs a lot more thought and maybe a lot more suggestions from players like you guys, because we're reading a lot of ideas that maybe we haven't thought of. So yeah, a forum or something like that, a post where people can comment would be great. If we got rid of buying gear and gold, that would be the best thing possible. I think that's like best situation ever. But the server is losing money as is, and that would be pretty devastating. I mean, it costs a lot of money to host the server and to pay for DDoS protection and to pay for blah blah blah. So I don't think that's something that could happen, at least with Excalibur, or with the current server. If we had another server, that was ideally the plan. But we're not sure what's going on with that because we're currently dealing with this and trying our hardest to make it better.
Yeah, like a sugar daddy.
Sugar daddy.
Excalibur would love a sugar daddy.
uh, there wasn't any behind the scenes amongst the private server admins, to be honest.
I think it was a lot more like, oh shit, what now? Yeah, and again, not really for us, much more scary for the admin.
I would say overall that when it comes to relationships between different private servers, that is actually quite peaceful, and that the ones that are fighting are the players, are not really the stuff running this. Because what you have to keep in mind, while servers with mostly those on the same patch and the same kind of servers are being in a competition in regards to who has the best quality and concept. We are not really rivals. I have no reason to shit on somebody's other project because, after all, they are also passionate about running a version of WoW that doesn't exist anymore. So, if anything,
Yeah,
there
they're
is
spending
quite a
their
bit of
best
respect.
time on that, just like we do.
The only time when you have drama between multiple admins of different servers is when you have a project and people from that project split off to create a new project. I think we have seen that quite a bit in the vanilla realm of private servers and not really on the TVC front, which I'm really happy about.
Mostly vanilla and Wrath.
I kind of wonder about the Discord thing. Somebody said that there should be a Discord community to discuss with game masters. That's a good question. I mean, we have a Discord server now, but we specifically don't have GMs in it because we thought, or I guess the idea was that players don't always want us around. Basically, like it's unfiltered, blah blah blah. I
Well,
don't
I
know
guess I
if
broke that rule
we
then,
need
because
another one.
I actually am in the Excalibur Discord. I, I joined it. I'm in there. No one's poked me or anything.
I think I
Well,
joined
we're
actually.
well, if you joined as I don't even know. As players, ideally we want to keep it. I don't know.
That's not gonna happen, Alexis. Sorry.
In regards to having game masters or stuff in general on the Discord server, highly disagree. And the reason is not because I don't think it would work. It would definitely work. But simply because there is, at this point, no reason to spread out your options to receive support. If you want support, you can go into the game and you can either open a ticket or you can ask in GM. So you definitely have in-game support. And if there's an issue with getting into the game, then you can open a web support ticket. There's no reason to open up a third platform to ask for support. And it also would mean that as a game master, you have to check one extra platform, which is simply really frustrating because you want to focus on one thing and do that and do it properly and not spread out your attention because it will only lead to things being resolved half-assed, which is something that nobody wants. That said, I agree that Discord is nice to have, and like from a standpoint, if you look at other servers and how they implement being able to ask stuff, if you, for example, can't log into your account for some reason, or there is an urgent bug going on that you need a developer for to have a look at, I see the point. But I think our web support is perfectly capable of covering that area.
Auction Master, I don't think IRC server is anymore.
If there is one, I have never looked into it.
The admin is Mr. Aladdin.
Also, somebody
PvP
asked
used
about
to be a big
Kelps.
topic.
She's not around anymore. Pitches in when she can, but not that.
She's here like 1%.
Yeah. Hold on. You Grandar, I think. We do some events that cannot be replicated again, meaning the AQ event we are having now. We try to stay as Blizz-like as possible. We will have some events that are not Blizz-like exactly, but it has shown that you guys like our events and we're gonna keep doing them.
Oh, and just to retouch on that, for the Shadow of Encourage event, that some of you might be thinking that this event will happen again. You might get your titles on another event. This event is not happening again. This is a once in a lifetime event for this title because you all have been asking for so long that you wanted the Excalibur title. So this is the once and only time it's happening. So if you want a shot at it, I would suggest participating in all of the next parts that are coming hereafter because the end of the event is ending soon. Like I'm predicting either by the end of next month is when the event's actually going to come to a closure and we're going to have the final battle.
God, your mic.
The end is ending.
Anyone need that translated?
I do.
Also, so we're gonna close this in like 10 minutes on the 30 mark. But do you guys want more like Twitch, Discord live streams of us talking, answering questions? We could do it monthly or something like.
I don't think it will happen weekly, so don't push it.
But you've given us some ideas. We've got things to talk about coming out of this, so it has benefited.
Yeah, a lot. This is really good, actually. I mean, all of the ideas we get on the suggestions forum in here, we always discuss them and always talk about it. And this is again just a like rapid fire bunch more ideas that we can discuss immediately and see what we can do. And yeah, take it from there.
Yeah, I mean, brainstorming like we've been doing, live brainstorming is good fun, and stuff does come out of it a lot more than you sort of do battering around on forums, waiting half a day for responses to stuff.
Actually, that's a really good idea. Well, I think we'll definitely make a forum topic about what's been discussed. And then we can update it with what we're talking about or if something can be implemented or whatever.
Well, since we are eventually stopping this conversation anytime soon, maybe let's go away from the general questions. And if you guys have specific questions for specific GMs, ask them now why those GMs are still here. Because obviously a little bit difficult to ask somebody something specific when that person has.
Yeah.
So maybe just put an ad at DGM. You would like to ask something specific, and we see what happens. George Michael is the best GM we have. He has been a huge asset to all of us, and we are really happy to have George around answering all your questions on a daily.
My favorite is Holger, sorry.
Well, Hogger is second in command, definitely.
Horde, definitely.
Narok and Varikina, me.
Subscriber Patreon. Maybe Patreon is the way to do it. I don't know. That's a good idea potentially for the advertisement thing. It's definitely something to consider.
Hey, my GM character is human, sorry.
The best faction is still and
Exactly.
without any dispute the Burning Legion.
Really? Regarding the last event, how it's going to be done is we're going to look and see basically the participation. Each time you participate in an event, you get a point, and whoever has the most points will progress to the final battle. It is mainly up to the players to come up with their party makeup. If it comes to the point where, say, they have 8 tanks, 2 healers, and for whatever reason, 5 casters and 6 rogues, we may be more flexible on what character you can pick to participate in the final battle. But if it's more balanced out across the board, it's going to be the character that you have did all the previous events on.
Be aware that the final battle will be hard.
Yeah, it is geared for tier 6.
I must say, I'm excited for that last battle.
I want to see the bodies pile. I really do. I am a terrible person. When it comes to the final battle, as well, I haven't figured out how we're gonna do this. We're gonna try to get a stream maybe for you guys to watch the lucky ones that get the chance to fight it. So that's more along the lines to see what happens in the future.
Yo, meme
Meme
contest.
contest,
Genius.
yeah.
Genius. Definitely happening.
I like that idea, yeah.
Pretty sure I've made some memes in the past, but I wasn't allowed to post them in public.
Your memes are rude and offensive.
Yeah, that's the point of a meme.
Yeah.
That's so smart. And we can post them on Reddit too.
And other social media. Save memes. You hear that, Mana?
Mm.
There you go, gonna zoom around chat, turning everyone into cat.
You're what?
Zooming around chat, turning everyone into cats. Because
What?
it rhymes.
Cats or kittens?
Kittens, my apology. They're all AFK.
Crazy them. We will discuss every single topic we went through on this stream, and we will let you guys know on the forum. It's why we had this Q&A.
Very
What do you mean blue posted?
I think announcements,
No.
like in game.
In-game announcement?
Okay, roughly on the end of our time. Okay, so just to recap a bunch, we have a bunch of great new ideas. We will discuss them ASAP. We're working hard on doing our very best. Website is still soon TM, and we're in the same boat as you guys. Yeah.
We want that to happen.
Anybody have anything else?
No, I'm good. Yeah, it was proper brainstorming. You guys gave us some awesome ideas. We'll try to make it work.
Full
best as we can.
credits for you guys all turning up as well. That's what makes it.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
I think at one point on my end it showed that we peaked a little over 60. I think it was 63 people. So it was kind of interesting to see that.
Doom Lord.
Mana Ruby very frequently tries to pay me to do karaoke. The truth of the truth of the matter is that I am not good at singing. I'm sorry.
And she hasn't had enough to drink.
So disappointing.
Yeah, but Mana Ruby is actually very good at karaoke. So
Yeah, he is.
You
He
don't
died
have
with
to
a
be
match.
good at karaoke to enjoy karaoke.
Ah, I'm turning them into kittens. You're turning them into murlocs.
Who do you think is turning them into murlocs?
What, they all had murloc
GTA.
suits.
All right, guys. I have to
Alrighty.
go. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your suggestions. And we'll try to make this a monthly thing.
Yeah, definitely.
On
This has
board.
been great. Thank you.
Alright, I'll catch you all later in game as well. Have fun, everyone. Any last minute comments before I hit the end button?
No.
Okay, I'm hitting the end button. I'll see you all later. Have fun. Take care.
Yeah.
Bye.
See you soon, Windrider.
Thanks for coming, guys. Good night, all.